Welcome to the Feedback Show. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
How are you doing, Dan? You all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Yes.
Good.
Full of the joys of spring.
Yes, well, it's a bit of crazy weather for spring, isn't it?
Not half, yeah. Still, we've had taste of it.
We did have one really lovely day.
Yeah, so it gives you faith that we're going to have a few more, doesn't it?
It's always difficult living in England because everyone's really happy when it's sunny, and then we complain that it's too hot.
Yes.
And then we complain when it's raining, and we complain when it's cold.
Yeah, that's human nature, though. We never satisfied, Steve. So we have to have something to complain about.
That's true. Anyway, this is getting way too deep for a feedback show.
Mm.
So this is the show where we comment on your artwork that's sent in to us. This is a service that is exclusive to members of our website. And if you want to learn more about what you can get by becoming a member, then go to colinbradleyart.com. So let's see who sent us their artwork today for some advice. First one's from Anita. Anita says that the main problem she had with this one was the folded back ear and the shading around the nose. Anita sent this picture in a couple of feedback shows ago, so you may have recognised it, and this is Anita's job. And
I did recommend that she didn't do it, but she obviously has done it. And the problem you've got with that is, we mentioned, it's probably a beautiful animal and then much loved, I would think. But when other people are going to look at that, they're going to wonder about the ears. So she's absolutely right. She's quite right. The folded back ears don't look quite right, do they?
Well, they don't look quite right on the photograph.
And there's nothing you can do about that. You've done all you can. I suppose whenever you get something like that, you've really got to follow exactly what you see on the photograph. Now, you haven't done that quite, Anita. You see that little peak that goes up in the middle, right at the top of the picture. Now, that's not the same as the peak on the photograph. You see what I mean? So you've deviated that. You've kind of made a sort of an impressionistic approach to that. And this is probably why it doesn't look quite right. In a situation like that, I would have followed the photograph exactly. I wouldn't have changed anything. The peak wouldn't have been there. It would have been less obvious. You see what I mean? So that's the answer to that. Now, as far as the shading around the nose is concerned, that's not bad, actually. I would say that it just needs to be quietened a little bit. It's a bit obvious. You know, when you look at the photograph, you don't see that shading so much. When you look at yours, you do, which means you've overemphasised it a bit. And a couple of things you could do. You could go back over with the white or the grey and subdue it that way, or you could use a colour shaper and gently work it into the picture.
Like blend it. Because before you had the colour shapers, you would have done that with the pastel pencil.
I would have done it with the pastel pencil, yes, exactly. So you could use even a little bit of both. But I would say you need to quieten it down just a little bit because it's a bit in your face. But otherwise, I think you've done a really good job on a particularly difficult picture. So well done for that.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, next one's from Paul. Hi Colin and Steve, I've enclosed my first drawing of the Jack Russell. I enjoyed this a lot, and I think for a first attempt I'm very pleased. The only thing I did not have was the 230 cold grey, so I had to improvise, and I also noticed that my colours are not as vibrant as Colin's. What colour could I have used instead of 230, and how could I get my colours vibrant like your pictures?
Right, well, you can't substitute 230, I'm afraid. It is the only colour. 230, 233 is the difference between what you've got there. You've used
like a warmer tone than a cooler tone.
Yeah, but then again, you see, you've used the warm tones all the way through. If you look at mine, I've used the cooler greys all the way through, all the way through the whites, I mean. So it doesn't look too much out of place. I don't think I'd worry too much about that. But don't try to substitute things. If you had the 230 and you'd just done that neck, it would have looked odd because the rest of it's not in keeping with it. You see what I mean? So you've got to be careful there. I think you've done a really good job. As far as vibrance is concerned, I think yours is as vibrant as mine is. If you're looking at sparkle, doesn't look any... I mean, to say it's less vibrant means it's duller. Well, it isn't.
No, it's just the shift in tone.
Yeah, and it's your take on the Jack Russell, which I encourage. There are tiny little things that you probably could do. The shape of the nose is not perfect. It tends to be a bit flat on one side. That's on this side. It tends to be a little bit flat.
Like here, this side.
Doesn't. No, the other side of that. That's it. It doesn't quite. Mine is a little more bulbous, if you see what I mean. But I'm talking about tiny little touches of the pencil. But that's something that will come. Gradually it will come.
Well, first attempt is really impressive.
Very impressive. You know, you expect too much, folks. You know, really do. But it's nice to see them and to see that you are actually coping with that very well. You should do very well with that. As time goes on.
Well done, Paul. Yeah, good work. Okay, next one is from Morella. I would like you and Colin to help me with my nude painting. I want to explain to you why I made the ocean darker than it is in the reference photo. I made it darker to distinguish the ocean more from the sky. I'm perfectly aware that I screwed up the ocean completely, which is why I'm asking for your help and opinion. So,
right. Go on. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, so, I mean, you can see that she's made the ocean darker. The horse looks great. I think the horse, done a really good job on the horse. But what would you have done in this? Because that's a tricky question.
Well, first of all, there's a law that comes into practice here.
Okay.
And I've said it many, many times when I've showed the videos. The background should not interfere with and take over from the picture, the subject, which it does. Now, if you look at the photograph, it doesn't. See, the photograph, you've got
the horse is the main thing.
Forget about the fact that you've got a difference between the sky. That would be easy to correct, really. All you would need to do, if you followed the photograph rather than your ideas there, follow with the same colours, very light, very airy, nothing too in your face. And all you would need to do with that is just make the blue of the sky when it hits the water just a tiny bit lighter. Just a tiny bit lighter. Got it? Not with a little bit of white maybe on there, would have done it. Just graduated up. And the water just a tiny bit darker. I'd have done it the way around.
So would you have put this horizon line in, darker horizon line in?
Yep, you see that works all right because it's a 2/3 rule.
Yeah.
That's another rule of ours.
And so then you see it's a bit lighter here. Is that what you mean?
No. I wouldn't have even bothered with that. No, I would have just made it straight across there, and I wouldn't have done any deviation until you get to the ripples. You put ripples in there. Now, another thing, Mirella, which you probably didn't realise, that the ripples you put in your picture are not accurate at all. If you look at a horizon line, how far would you say that horizon line was away?
Oh, I see.
20,
I
30
just
miles?
noticed that, yeah.
How would that little wave that's just below, how far would that be away? 20, 30 feet into the water? You see what I mean? So what's happening is you're throwing that completely out of true. If you get rid of all those waves above that main wave, featured wave that's in there, that would have been better. And of course, I wouldn't have made it quite so dark. I would have made it more or less the colour of the picture. So interesting here is what we try to do is we try to make our pictures our own. We try to do things. Well, I'm not going to follow the photographs. I'm going to do my own thing. The trouble is, if you do your own thing in a situation like this, you're taking big risks if you're not aware of those rules I'm telling you about.
Right.
If you weren't aware that wave that splits above the shoulder, see there, if you're not aware that wave is not very far into the water, is it? And the horizon line is a long way away.
Yeah. Now,
if you're not aware of that, you'd go willy-nilly, I'll stick a wave up here and I'll stick another one up there.
I've got to admit, I didn't even pick that up.
No, you wouldn't.
Until you mentioned it.
And that's the reason.
Yeah.
You wouldn't pick it up, and that's what people don't see. So how do you learn to see that? Well, you know now, don't you? And you'll probably never, ever make that mistake again, neither will any of the members, because I've pointed it out to you. So these are the things you learn as you go along. But what you've got to learn, really, is that if you wanted to follow that, what I would have done, if you asked me what I would have done, I'd have missed that wave out altogether.
The big wave?
Yeah.
So you would have missed this one out
Yep.
and just had these ones.
Yes, that's what I would have done.
Interesting. So it's like what you were just saying. I mean, I know you understand the theory behind the perspective and the distance and stuff, but it's easier to take stuff out.
Absolutely.
Like take that wave out and then try and add more stuff in.
Yep. Yep. Get rid of it altogether. After all, it may have happened that way. It's a bit weird that there's only
So that's
one
more
wave.
realistic that would happen than you would have other waves higher up, kind of thing is what you're saying.
I wouldn't have worried about the waves at all. That little break where it breaks on the shore, yes, I'd put that in, because I think that's important. It's the setting of the picture, isn't it? And it's 2/3 rule again. You see, if you look at that wave,
it's right in the middle.
That's right. So we've got a horizon.
I'm learning a lot from this.
Well, you're learning it because it's following, as I say, you're following rules now. We're following. They're not hard and fast, these rules, but they're important to have as your guidelines when you're doing something like that. Another thing that's very important, and this whoever took this photograph has done it right, is the horse is running into the picture, not out of the picture. Now, there's a little bit of, you see the backside of the horse.
Yeah.
And you look at the distance between that and the edge of the photograph, right?
Yeah.
Now look at the front of the horse where the shoulders are. And you look at the distance between there and the other side.
Yeah.
Look at that difference in distance, which means the horse is running into the picture rather than out of it.
Right.
But you followed that, so that's fine.
Oh, that's interesting.
But these are little things that I know and would notice
Yeah.
on a picture. This is where balance comes in, and it's great. I mean, very well done on the horse. You've made a brilliant job of that.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, and good thing you've got us, really. That you can say, what have I done wrong and how can I correct it? Now I've told you how to correct it, and the next picture you do of a similar nature would be even better. I'd put more sand in as well. At the bottom, the hoof, you kind of just see a little bit of sand there. I'd put a bit more in there. You've got the shadow of the horse there, but I certainly would have made it a lot lighter than that. More like the photograph.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, getting a lot from that. Thanks, Morella. Yeah, that's.
Oh, well, there's only 3, but you got the money's worth.
It's a quick show, yeah. A quick show. But all of our members are free to send in any of your artwork, whether it's, like you saw with the Jack Russell, whether it's our pictures or your own pictures. We're here to help. It's part of your membership. So, again, if you want to learn more about becoming a member, then go to colinbradleyart.com, and we'll see you on the next feedback show. Thanks, Dad.
That's my pleasure.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
Bye for now.